nobody talks about that part.
That's the part people need to hear.
I've never shared this publicly.
The leaders are talking. The stories are real. Don't miss what everyone will be talking about.
For today's teenagers, the future can feel overwhelming. They're asking questions like, am I ready? What happens after high school? Do I go to college? What if I don't? What career is right for me? Will I be successful? At the same time, schools across the country are facing a different challenge. How do we truly engage young people in learning when so many students feel disconnected from what they're being taught? We know today's students want more than lectures and worksheets. They want experiences. They want exposure. They want to understand why what they're learning matters and how it connects to the real world. And employers are looking for more than academic knowledge alone. They're looking for young people who can communicate, collaborate, think critically, solve problems, adapt, and work effectively with others. The 3DE high school model is intentionally designed to help students build those real-world competencies through project-based learning, business connectivity, presentations, teamwork, and solving authentic business challenges. And frankly, they deserve that. So what happens when education and business stop operating in separate worlds? What happens when high school becomes more connected to real world and real companies and real problem solving and real life? Today, we're exploring a model that's trying to answer those questions. It's called 3DE by Junior Achievement, a high school model designed to make learning more relevant, more engaging, and more connected to the future students are stepping into. What started as an innovative idea has now spread across the country, including right here in Broward County, where the model is currently in 2 high schools and expanding into 2 more this fall. Today, we're talking about what makes this model different, what it looks like inside the classroom, how businesses are involved, and most importantly, what it means for students. Joining us today is Dr. Angela Fulton, our Deputy Superintendent of Broward County Public Schools, who leads the implementation of 3DE for Broward County Public Schools, and Tom Milana from Transworld Business Advisors, one of JA's Business Case Challenge partners. I'm Laurie Sallarulo, your host of Bold Exchange, and this conversation, it's about to get real. So let's start the exchange. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm going to jump right in. And so I share a little bit about what the 3DE model is about, and we'll get into it a little bit more. But I think, Dr. Fulton, from you, this was something that the district about 5 or 6 years ago said, we want to adopt this model. And we started 4 years ago in the 2 schools, Fulton and MacArthur. And here we are today with our first graduating classes. Tell me from your perspective, from the district's perspective, why did they decide to be one of the JA areas and school districts who wanted to implement this model?
And thank you. First of all, thank you for the opportunity for having Broward County be a part of this innovative model. So I think Broward County, not unique than any other school district, are looking for ways to make sure all of our students are engaged, especially at the high school level. And a lot of our conversations with our business partners are always talking about we need a graduate that can do more than just know the particulars, the reading, the writing, the math, and arithmetic. And I think we do that pretty well. I think where the challenges and the gaps were is helping to graduate students who go beyond the things that are taught in the classroom. We call that the hidden curriculum. Being able to think critically, being able to problem solve, being able to be team players, analyze things. And so when the opportunity came, we definitely embraced it. And is so happy to see it now come to its fruition, to be announced to see our graduates. Mm-hmm. And what has been really a quiet yet secret, because it was really concentrated to only 2 of our high schools in Broward County. We're excited to see it move to many more next year, and then also phase out to many more in the upcoming school years. We're graduating students who are have experiences that went beyond the traditional high school student. And I had the opportunity of watching their case studies. And I have to tell you, 3DE was new to me. Didn't have that when I was in high school. Certainly wish it was around, because I think I would be able to take away some of the things our students are taking away now. And I was blown away by the case study challenges that they were doing, because I was seeing students doing things that they don't typically do in the traditional classroom. And it's like you give them a problem and you step back and you just let them solve it. Like, we don't give our students enough credit for what they are able to do because we confine them to the traditional ways of learning. And I'm excited that they've had the opportunity with the 3DE because we've unleashed something in our students that always had the potential of being there. But this particular model really exacerbated the talent that they always have. So I think Broward County is onto something. And I know there's another county that has really expanded it to many high schools. And that's really where our vision is for Broward County.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, throughout Florida, there are 3 other counties that have embraced the 3D model and have grown it now to 17, 19, 20 something schools. So I know that a lot of kids have to deliver, but I know you have very big hopes and dreams for all of this, and we're excited. And things like this don't happen without partnerships, right? JA can't do what it does, whether it's through 3DE or any of our other programs that we do together. And we certainly can't do it with the business model, but without the business partners. And I think just for the audience, that's the whole idea of 3DE. So it means 3-dimensional education, meaning that the 3 people who are coming together are the school districts, junior achievement, and the business community. And that's what makes it work. And we'll talk a little bit more about what makes it work, but you touched on the case challenges. And that is what I think one of the things that makes this model so unique. When I remember I shared it recently with a donor of ours, a supporter. And when I told him about the case challenges, he was so excited. He said it made him think of when he went to college and went for his master's and doctorate. And he said, that's how our kids should be learning this. And so, Tom, I want to turn to you because Transworld is one of our business partners where you go in and present a business challenge to the students, mentor them, and help them, go off on the path. And then you judge them at the end of it. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, why did Transworld, right, get involved in this? What was it about it that appealed to you? And then share a little bit about the experience of being a business partner.
Again, thank you very much for allowing me to be here. And thank you for allowing Transworld to be a partner. We've been in the community for about 46 years. And if it's one thing we've learned is that we try to do good deals for good people. And we specialize in the sale of Main Street businesses, mostly Main Street and local, lower middle market companies, the mom and pop companies, the companies that are doing, say, less than 50 million a year in revenue for the most part, and a lot of smalls. And so what's happening is, especially in this day, my biggest problem is finding a business worth buying. And the entrepreneurs of today are slowly fading away. Nobody wants to take over their companies. Their children want to do something different. They don't want to do what mom and dad did. And so, being a part of this system and being able to get involved with the high schoolers, to show them not only what I do for a living, but to see how other business owners operate, the type of money that can be made and how they can support their family down the road. I thought was a great way to simply get involved and to be there firsthand for the up and coming workforce. So
what was it? Can you tell us the challenge that you presented to students?
The challenge, it was a work in progress. I'll tell you. The overall challenge was for the students to. We went to the restaurant industry because everybody knows how to eat, and everybody goes out to whether it's McDonald's or to a fancy restaurant. So the challenge was find a restaurant that you think that either you would like to buy and learn the process of buying that restaurant, or let's pretend that you are the business owner, the restaurant owner, and what you need to do to prepare that business for sale. And then
I come take that business challenge.
Well, I'd be happy to
That
sell
sounds
women.
amazing.
I mean, because that's what we do. We deal with the local entrepreneurs that either want to come to town and buy a business, start something from scratch, or in an ideal world for us as a broker, you own a 40-year-old company, now you want to sell it.
Right.
And what's the process of valuation and confidentiality to market and sale? And there's It's a lot more entailed than, say, a realtor selling a house. There's a lot more involved.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great case challenge. I'll bet that you had quite the experience. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the skills that they probably developed through that. But I think, Dr. Fulton, one of the things that I think I love about the 3DE model is it's not a project-based learning opportunity in one class, correct? It is, these case challenges are embedded into all the core subjects. Can you talk a little bit about that? Why that particular way that this model is delivered? Why does that change the way that our kids are experiencing math or science and developing those competencies in those classes?
So great question. And that's what I think I love most about the 3D model is because the traditional education, our students go to one class and they close that learning and go to another class, close that learning, go to another class. And then you often hear students always saying, and I'm guilty of it too, what am I going to do with that learning? Like where I'm going to take this? And so with the 3DE model, it's more of an interdisciplinary where, there is a connection between the learner from class to class. But the most important takeaway are the teachers working together. And there is a central focus of, the learning is also very connected. So now students are able to see the purpose that is, through the interdisciplinary units that happen between all of the core subjects. They're not in isolation. They'll see something embedded. So whatever they're focusing on, they can see the application of it when I'm going to science. They see the application of it when I'm going to social studies. They see the application when I'm going into math. And it still falls back to that central theme, but seeing the connectors in each of the different subject areas. And there's a lot of research on making learning stick. And the best way to make learning stick when it's connected to something real, when it's connected to other discipline subjects, because you don't look at it as in isolation. And a lot of the teaching, and we're moving away from that, is taught in isolation. And when that happens, you get a lot of rote learning. I'm learning this for this purpose. And then when I'm done with it, I go on to something else, and that learning doesn't transfer. But with the 3D model, you see a lot of transfer of learning. And when you have transfer of learning, you have learning that lasts. Beyond engagement. And you have much engagement. I think that's the other piece, much engagement. When you have students doing and touching and thinking and talking, and there's a saying, whoever's doing the talking is doing the learning. And oftentimes you go in traditional classroom, who's doing the talking is the teacher. Right. And making the assumption that students are learning. But in the 3D model, it's really the students that are being more engaged. And when they're more engaged, they're actually translating into learning.
I love it. Just makes me so happy because, I think one of the things also is as we work with all of our students and your students, right? And your students, and we just work with them and through our partnership, which we love. But especially in our high school students, understanding that connection and putting it all together. And as you say, understanding why this is relevant. I think they really struggle with that today, right? And so I'm curious, when you were doing this business case challenge, and you've done it from beginning, right, to end, working with those students at the schools, what did you see as a result of this model and presenting that case challenge to these young people? Did you see a difference from beginning to end? Did you see certain skill sets?
Yeah, most definitely. They really. They had no idea in the beginning, of what it takes to, let's start with the buyers, to buy a business, an operating business. They have no idea what working capital meant, what, purchasing product meant, where to get it, how to get it, how to deal with landlords and rents. And a lot of people walk into a very crowded restaurant and they say to themselves, well, this place is a gold mine. Mm-hmm. Well, what they don't realize is that they're actually losing money, and they're losing money because they overpaid on their merchandise that they're selling. Their rents are too high. They're, for so many different reasons. And so in the very beginning, they sat there with their mouths open, trying to understand and by the end, they all came up with presentations on how to actually put a business evaluation together and came up with an idea of value based upon the rules of thumb that we had taught everybody, and what it would take to actually even take over someone's restaurant and upgrade it. And so, yeah, everybody was, it was amazing to see the transformation as it is.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I love it.
and it'd be amazing if they kept going for the next couple of years now, right?
Right.
So this was a quick process.
Yeah. So for our audience, just so that they understand, so 3DE, our young people start as they come into ninth grade, and then they stay within that 3DE cohort. It's like a school within a school, right? And so I think, one of the things for me is I always look at access, right? And how do we bring this to more children? How do we change education? But it's so big, right? It's the big gorilla in the world, right? And so when we look at education, to change a system is very, very difficult. But I do feel so good about the fact that if we can change several hundred students in each school, right, by the end of those 4 years, that we're changing. We're making progress. I think one of the things that is going to be really important as we go forward is how do we continue to scale this, right? And how do we continue to bring this to more and more students? I think the other thing, you mentioned this very briefly about teachers. And one of the things they're seeing as a result of this model is teacher retention. I'd love to hear from, now that we've been in this, right? And by the way, I want the audience to know too, this model did not come without its challenges. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's been an uphill climb. But I will say this, that the district and the leadership of the district and JA have been fully committed to making this work. Because we could stop.
Well, it takes commitment. Right. It takes commitment. And I will tell you, I'm speaking on what you say is how can we make it grow? I think what we're doing is how it does grow, showing the success of it. Again, it's just like anything. Some people are going to sit on the sidelines because 3DE, when you say that, still in the realm of education, they don't know what that is, right? So as it's coming to high schools, when we had to sell it, certainly high schools are always looking for innovation, but I want to know what it is. What does it mean to me? What does it mean for the students? And then also, what work comes with it is always the biggest question. But when you see the outcomes of the students, it's undeniable that it's certainly worth the investment. I wish we can do it with all of our high schools. And I, as I think of a visionary, I see it happening in all of our high schools because the way that we deliver an education has to change. We cannot continue to do the traditional model because as we speak to our business partners, they're always constantly wanting to know how could they better partner with us because our job is to create a product that can walk into college ready or walk into career ready. And I don't think that we prepare them any different at the high school, whether I'm going to college or career. There are certain skills that our students need to have when they graduate across the stage. And right now, I'm proud to say the pocket that we're graduating now will have that. So my main thing also with Dr. Hepburn, my superintendent, how do we scale that when more students have that opportunity? That hidden curriculum should be everywhere. Our students should be able to be able to critically analyze anything, take a problem and work it through. A problem that's outside of school. And when I thought about the case challenge problem, that's amazing. There are a lot of students that may not come from a home that have experience with a business. So look at that exposure. Look at that entrepreneur that we're probably planting that seed that otherwise, if they didn't have that experience, wouldn't do that. So I think 3DE does more than just prepare students to go beyond. It's really probably shaping their future because they're a part of this great opportunity.
Yeah. And I think the great thing is, and I don't even know if Tom knows this. So the students that are in junior year of the 3DE, JA has a summer employment program. They are so prepared for careers by the end of junior year that we have them participate in our summer youth employment. So that summer between junior and senior year, they're also getting employment experience, right? And then in senior year, they're working on a challenge more around entrepreneurship, right? And doing what we call an internship in entrepreneurship. But it's really about understanding not so much how to start a business, but that entrepreneurial mindset that we all need to have when we're working out in businesses. But I want to go back to the teachers because I remember at the beginning, there was a little bit of resistance.
You want to know why? Yeah, because what work do I have to do? And certainly we all know teachers are overworked and underpaid.
They are.
I'm just going to put that there, and they're the hardest working people that I've ever worked with in the field of education. And so, they're I don't call it plates anymore. They platters are always overflowing, but when they find purpose in something, they make room for it. Right. So, certainly once they understood, what the value was, even for them, because whether it's the 3DE, the skills and the experience they learn spill over into other things. So there was a return in investment for a part of that program. So I think teachers are now finding the value. But the other piece on that, the community the teachers are creating amongst themselves brings so much value too that they probably didn't think about because of the interdisciplinary connections that happens. And so it breaks down the walls, it breaks down the silos and the isolations, and teachers are actually working together and doing great things together.
Yeah, I love that. And that's where I was hoping you would take us because was there resistance at the beginning? What do I have to do? How much more work do I have to do? I don't understand this model, right? And there's these trainings and they went to a planner and right. So there's lots to do to prepare for these business challenges, right? And how do I incorporate those competencies and skills into math and science and all those other places? But we have watched the transformation and the teachers now embracing this model and wanting it. And the principals who, from what I understand, really wanted, now that they know what 3Ds, really wanted it to come into their schools. And I think that's important. Tom, what would you there are so many businesses out there in the community, and this model only works if you and businesses are a part of this model. So important. And we are already connecting with our business partners for next year. Being in 4 schools next year, right, for freshman year, we'll be adding South Plantation and Deerfield Beach High School to the mix. So we need even more Case Challenge partners. JD does all the work. Did you tell us a little bit about that? And would you and why would you recommend that other businesses get involved in this program? Sure.
The teachers that I had met, they were really, really enthusiastic about the program. I mean, they welcomed us as a team. There was a team of 6 of us from Transworld, and everybody was more than happy to donate their time to see these kids excel. It was amazing. Again, because we are dealing with the entrepreneurs that we do here in the local community, because of the types of businesses that we do and the type of families that we help, we just thought it was indispensable. Our time was so well worth it. I could highly recommend any other business out there to get involved because, the workforce right now is, I think, hurting. I think it's really hurting. It's hard to find the right people that want to work. Like I said earlier, the children of today, they really don't want to do what their parents have been doing. Suppose that, they don't know better. Maybe it's the COVID environment. But I think that the program offers the local businesses a way to start molding their future workers. All right. I have some businesses where the current owner, the current CEO of the company that's doing $20 million a year was a worker who was literally sweeping the floors. And so to find those types of opportunities today with today's students, I think it's just an awesome opportunity.
Yeah. So you hear that, business partners out there. Did it take a lot of time?
No, at the end of the day, it was really
together. Maybe
my team. I think we spent probably an hour or 2 per month. Besides the meetings that we had on our own on how we were going to organize things, it was a little bit more of my time than theirs, but it was minimal and well worth it.
Awesome.
Well worth.
We talk about businesses, and businesses often say, "Oh, I don't have that workforce." And by the way, that could be a whole nother show, probably more than one. But because we talk about as CEOs, I can tell you, other CEOs in the community, we all talk about that, and it isn't just one age or one generation, right? It's the workforce in general has changed drastically. But I think that with the businesses, we talk about sometimes, oh, right, I have a workforce challenge, or the kids are coming out without the skills and the competencies we need. We can't stand as businesses, right, as business owners, as leaders. I don't think the way for us to help change that is to be on the sidelines. And so we need, I'm speaking to our audience, we need business people to be involved with our students, with our young people. They need mentors. Many of our students don't have those mentors, right? They don't have the business people in their lives that can help them.
It's a misconception of time, right? They think they're going to have to spend too much of their personal time when really, it's not that time consuming.
Right. No, we need to invest in the next generation. Dr. Fulton, I think, I don't want to close before, I want to say that, as I've gotten the opportunity to work with you and Dr. Hepburn, and we truly, truly value the partnership and what I think, how JA can walk alongside of the district. But I really do want to do a shout out. Working with you all, and, people see only on the outside sometimes. That the district is truly, I think the vision has changed so much for the better. And I really want to give kudos and thank you and credit to the administration and the leadership because I've seen how you and Dr. Hepburn and Dr. Cohn, and I can name some of the others, are embracing models like 3DE and understand we must change. Parents know. We did a parent conference not that long ago. Parents are worried about where their children are going, right? And so I would say there's a four-legged stool and our children are sitting on the top. And right, so there's the business people, the business community, there's the school district, there's the parents, and then there's organizations like JA, the community. And if one of those stools is missing, that stool is going to topple and that child is going to fall. So I just want to say thank you to you and for embracing this, for your vision, for coming behind this, for just understanding that we really need to transform and change the way we're teaching our young people. So thank you for that.
Go back and give you your flowers too, because I like the four-legged stool because I agree with you. We all balance it very well, and we all play a part in our students. It's an investment. Our students are our future, and I want to thank you for your partnership with our students and believing in the district. And without your partnership, we wouldn't be here today. So I just want to tell you thank you, and I look forward to seeing the continued partnership, but more so the investment in our students in Broward County. Truly, thank you.
I'm excited. I thought I might retire soon. But
no, not yet.
We have too much.
Well, we need another class to graduate.
Yes, we have too much work to do. And Tom, I want to say thank you to you as well, and to Annie and all of the people over at Transworld. Your investment in these young people will live on for a really long time in their lives, right? And I know, I can tell by the way you're talking about it and your smile, the feeling, right, and the reward that you feel by investing in these young people. And so I want to say thank you. We need more of you. And so,
we really,
and you'll be back for next year, right?
I'm not going anywhere. Yes, not me. I would like to let you know that one of the people on my team, a young man by the name of Jake, is a graduate of Junior Achievement. And so for the students to meet him during this, to say, hey, I was there, I've been in that seat,
right?
Waiting before 3D was, here. I thought made a big impression.
Yeah.
Big impression.
We did a dinner. We had a dinner the other night and we had some of our alumni from 3D. We had a 3D alumni, graduate. We had a pre-apprenticeship alumni who's now working in the water management industry. We had one of our career-bound students who did a student internship during the summer in her junior year, and now she's graduating and going to college. And to hear their stories and where they are today, and to hear them say, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was anxious. I was nervous. And going through school and then finding, right, us coming in together, working together, they said changed their life. And so that made us feel really, really good about the work we're doing. So thank you both so much. And thank you to our audience. The boldest thing any of us can do is to be honest about the journey. Thank you for sharing yours today. And thank you for listening. Until next time, this is Bold Exchange.
Bold Exchange is a production of Junior Achievement of South Florida. Subscribe wherever you listen so you never miss a conversation. Follow us on social at JA South Florida and visit jasouthflorida.org to learn more. Got a bold story? Reach out. We want to hear it.